I have fought very firmly against white domination. I have fought very firmly against black domination. I cherish the ideal of a new South Africa where all South Africans are equal.
Nelson Mandela had been the leader for the ANC's armed forces and initiator of sabotage against military and state targets and guerrilla warfare to end apartheid. He was arrested in August 1962 and sentenced to life in prison. During the trial, he explained that the ANC used peaceful means until the massacre at Sharpeville, the event that made it clear to him that the only way to crush apartheid was violence. The rest is history. Before being elected as South Africa's first ever black president, he had spent 27 years in prison on Robben Island. While in the cell, he had a piece of paper that he looked at several times a day. A quote from William Ernest Henley: "I'm a master of my own destiny and captain of my soul." A mantra that became the basis of his unending character. Strong characters never expect easy journeys. They see the dark moments as building blocks for inner strength, to be able to turn adversity into success with self-leadership and confidence in their abilities. What then distinguishes a strong character from a weaker one? In my experience, it's above all perseverance, the ability to take action, resist disappointment and adversity. 1. That you refuse to let failures pull you down. 5 years from now, the storm is nothing but a surge in the glass. 2. That you would rather listen to your own dreams than the negative opinions of others. 3. That you continue to move forward step by step with both heart and brain as your guide. But it's also based on 3 pairs of characteristics: honesty and reliability, integrity and self-confidence, perseverance and discipline. Firstly, be as honest with yourself as with others. Do not lie, not even for yourself. See the truth as it is, then people will trust you. Second, show integrity. Do what you say you should do, when you say you should do it. A clear connection between words and deeds. Then you build self-confidence. Endurance. Strong characters are not formed in a couple of weeks, months or even years. These are small steps that apply according to your big plan to build the strongest possible character, with discipline as your best friend. Very few, however, work to develop the character. Instead of building a strong backbone around their most important character traits, they bring up a shield as a protection. Sort of a jerry building that makes them vulnerable, when instead they should settle with themselves and answering the one question: who am I? What qualities characterize me? What behaviors do I identify with? What motivates me? What makes me proud? What are my goals? Questions that were constantly worked on during the antique era, when know yourself was a central concept in leadership education. A sentence that was the prerequisite for success, then as now. Now to the scouting. That has actually occupied a large part of my time over the past decade, and where I listed 7 things that I think characterize strong characters. Let's hit them all. Number 1. The path to success is through principles. Principles do not change. They hold the line all the way, every day of the week. Your words and your actions are one and the same. A person with character lives for his principles, not for popularity. Politicians have a challenge here, when the popularity goes down and they start negotiating with their own principles. When people move up in ranks, it's said that power corrupts. But it's not about that. It's not the power itself that corrupts, it's the lack of character, isn't it? Some people hire image consultants. But if you know who you are, why do you need an image consultant? Politicians, executives and celebrities who hire image consultants. Why? Probably because they haven't found out who they are. Number 2. Character is a set of standards. Many try to live on their charisma, their gifts, their talent. It's a short-term strategy. Your talent will never protect you in the long run. The only thing that can lead you forward in the long run is your character. There is no excuse to lower your standards. Your future depends on your character, not your charisma. Number 3. For a person with a strong character, words and deeds or actions are the same thing. A person without character says one thing and does something completely different. It's a person with several faces, which is actually the definition of a hypocrite. Having nice clothes, driving nice cars, or wearing an expensive watch doesn't determine whether we should give the person our trust. Do not be seduced by charisma, instead follow people with character. The character only reveals itself when it's seen, and there are mainly 3 things that test it: power, money, and sex. Temptations that risk ruining a trust that takes you years to build, seconds to lose, and an eternity to regain. So avoid becoming a piece on the chessboard. Move the temptations before they move you. Number 4. They never feel fully educated. They block out time for development and skills every week. Raphael Badziak's book, The $1 Million Secret, summarizes the habits of 20 billionaires and what took them there. As I said, they set aside time each week to study their respective areas and constantly sharpening their skills, while at the same time having plans for their own development. Number 5. They plan, they have a strategy. Like the 20 billionaires in Raphael Badziak's book, The $1 Million Secret, they get up early to plan the major steps they'll take and prioritize the most difficult things first. They have understood that no one is really in a hurry, that successful projects are a matter of priorities, and always put long-term strategy before short-term tactics or winnings. Number 6. They never ever give up. The ability to come back after adversity and defeat with experience in the baggage characterizes people with strong character. They focus on the light in times of darkness. Aung San Suu Kyi was under house arrest in Burma for over 11 years and still continued to fight for freedom. Nelson Mandela continued to fight against apartheid during and after 27 years in prison. 7. People with strong character, they have good self-confidence, which they are constantly building up. Everything from body language, attitude, smile and eye contact to prioritize and focus on what's important and visualize the successful implementation of the project. Strong self-confidence increases the ability to take risks, set higher goals, and become more successful. Poor self-confidence has the handbrake on, and a good one push on the turbo. The path to self-confidence goes by letting the words be followed by action. Just do it. Do not give in to laziness, difficulties, or fears. Test your abilities, preferably every day. Passive people are rarely tested, while active people are constantly tested. They accept that the risk of failure is just around the corner. They do not give up in the first place. In September 2013, 64-year-old Diana Niad became the first in the world to swim from Cuba to Florida, a distance of almost 180 kilometers, and without a shark cage around her. She had previously made 4 attempts, but the superwoman didn't give up until she had done what she set out to do, and turned failure into success by her unstoppable character. A term that comes from the ancient Greek word character, which actually means engraved, which asks the questions actually, how do you really engrave your strongest qualities, which you can hold on to in any weather? Do you want to sharpen your character? Then you not only need to find out where you stand, you should also know where you're actually going. For that reason, with the help of the Swedish rhetorician pro Stefan Hedlund, I built a character matrix that helps you shape your character with the main line and your main trait at the top. So download the character matrix and engrave the picture of who you are today at the same time as you draw the vision of the person you want to be in the future. Good luck.